I don't agree with Charlie Kirk. I don't agree with Candace Owens. I don't support them on this. I think they should allow porn star in, and if we tell the porn star you're doing a deviant lifestyle that God doesn't approve of, I think porn stars should be allowed. I think Tommy Aaron should be allowed and say, you know what? We don't endorse transgender people. You're either a man or a woman. That's it. But we still allow Tommy Aaron to come. We should allow anyone to come. Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, Owen Schroyer, Gav Malone, Gavin McGinnis, anyone, Michelle Malkin. We just push back when we disagree. Why are we afraid to disagree? Why are you afraid to push back? Why can't we push back? I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you.
So Candace, our conference made headlines these last couple days because we found out that some person that calls himself pornographic person, I don't want to call it an actress. I think that's just an awful thing to say. Was at our event, kicked her out as soon as we found out. You have an opinion on this?
I do. So first and foremost, I have tons of porn stars that follow me. And I speak to some of them like in DMs. Really, like a lot of the porn stars are conservative. All of the Hugh Hefner's ex girlfriends ever. They're all. When I say conservative, I mean they all vote in accordance with conservatives. Meaning they all vote for Trump, right? Yeah, they vote Republican. They're all Republican, not conservative. None of them have ever like raised the bar into saying, you know, I'm a conservative and I have a right to be at a student action summit. So I saw this happening on Twitter. It's like, how could they ban Brandy Love? Okay, a lot of other questions should be asked. First and foremost, why isn't she's not like a former porn star? It's like I then looked to see who she was, went on Twitter and saw her full frontal private parts. She was spread open, eagle. And I didn't even know it was allowed on Twitter. Apparently Trump's not, but you're allowed to do this in Twitter, which shocked me. I was like, why am I looking at a fully naked frontal woman? And apparently that content's allowed. And so that was shocking. And nobody asked the question, why did she log on and decide that she wanted tickets as a VIP at a student summit? So first and foremost, inappropriate because this is a summit that's for students.
And high school kids.
And high school kids.
But she's not naked there. She's not going to be naked there, man. She's not going to be naked at the Student Exit Summit. You lying bastards. She's not going to be naked at the Student Exit Summit. She's naked on Twitter. Yeah, she might be there fully clothed. How do you know, man? Come on, man. You can't challenge people and take them down.
She's a wonderful conservative. No, she's not. She might be a libertarian. She might be a nationalist. She's not a conservative. The word conservative, it has meaning. It has meaning. Okay, so the same way that wood cannot be water and water cannot be wood, a full frontal pornographic actress cannot be a conservative. Okay, you can't say I'm a Christian because I stepped into a church, but I'm also a drug addict and I do these terrible things. You're not a Christian. You happen to be at a church. So while the Big Tent philosophy says that we need to be more like the left, right? And you also find this, in fact, I think Turning Point should kick out more people from the conferences. I've been like kind of hitting when
I don't agree with that. I'm not saying we should push these people into positions of power, but to say we can't debate them, that's wrong. You should have everyone there to debate. Yeah, they shouldn't be pushing our 10, and yes, we should encourage them to run for office in any position. But to sit there and tell me we can't have them and debate them, we can't defeat their argument. You can't debate leftists, or you can't debate other Republicans that may not be a true conservative. Come on, man.
These pillars, these natural conservative pillars inform the Constitution, not the other way around. Yes. Okay? And these people are not antithetical in calling themselves conservatives. If you do anything that is against the family unit, you are not a conservative. Now, doesn't mean that me and Brandy Love can't be at a Trump rally, and because there are other things that we vote on, right? We're not, Trump it brings together libertarians, he brings together nationalists, he brings together conservatives. Yeah. We agree on a lot of topics, but we also disagree on those topics. Yes. And fundamentally, everything Ben Domenech said was incorrect. Brandy Love is not a conservative. If he needs to sit down and really talk about the philosophy of what it means to be a conservative, I'd love to help him. But it's so foolish. And to put the onus on you guys to say, like, as a student action summit, you need to let in porn stars. Did he defend the teacher that was let in at school who taught pornography to the first graders? Is that the Big Tent that he's looking for? We fight this stuff in the education system. Students need to be protected from this stuff.
No, they don't. They can handle it. They can push back, man. They're not going to be brainwashed unless they have a small, feeble mind that can't think for themselves. The left may be brainwashed. The left may need protecting because they group think everything because they can't think for themselves. We can think for ourselves. We can handle it. Stop making decisions for us. The students can handle a disagreement or debate from people even you may not agree with.
What we want to present kids, right? And to be like, well, what are you, cancel culture? What do you say to that? If we're like, are we engaging in cancel culture?
It's not cancel culture. You have a response. These are students. And this is so bizarre to me.
It is cancel culture because you should be able to push back. You should be able to debate. You should DC Vaughn. And what you want to present to them is one thing, but you can also present the other argument. I think they need to be able to present the both arguments so they can have reasonable and they can think from both sides of the argument. To only give one side is the same thing as the left only giving one side. You know, it's not healthy when there's only one side. If you only want one side or only push the narrative you want, well, then good, because when it happens on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, then they only get the leftist point of view, which is the average person is what they use. They don't use Parler or Gab. Then our positions get put into the ether. Our positions get put in the black hole with no one, the memory hole that no one sees. We need to be able to influence the other side. So we need to be able to have access to the left. It's like the left needs to be able to have access to us. And if our ideas, if you have enough confidence that they're the correct ideas, we should be able to push back on those ideas and we should be able to win the argument. For Charlie Kirk to take people out of there that, you know, we need, like, you don't want Tim Pool over there. Tim Pool is a progressive, but he knows the left is crazy, so he can't vote left anymore because of the culture issues. Tim Pool is with us on culture. That's why he votes Republican, even though he's a progressive, because he knows the left is crazy. So what? Tim Pool's not allowed at Turning Point? You want to say? If Tim Pool's not allowed at Turning Point, then I don't want to go to Turning Point because you're turning away people that could be votes for our side because we're trying to stop the crazy culture. And right now, Tim Pool's not for the craziness on the left. That's why he voted for Trump last November, and he's a progressive because he knows the craziness of the left. We need to have these people in our tent. What are you going to do? Not want who are you going to ban next? Dana Lash? You're going to ban Dana Lash? Dana Lash, who supports Caitlyn Jenner. Dana Lash supports Caitlyn Jenner because, well, she thinks she's a conservative on a lot of stuff. You know, and it's like, well, why should we make it about gender identity? Because she hates identity politics. Well, I'm sorry. So what, are you going to ban her? Well, I disagree with her because we need to make it identity. Because if you're not an identity, then you don't mesh with our values, and you're not going to be compatible with us on our side. So we need to push back on Caitlyn Jenner because it's not gender we need to support. But why, Charlie Kirk, can't you just handle disagreement? Why can't you, Charlie Kirk, just push back? Why can't you, Charlie Kirk, just sit there and say, no, this is not what we stand with, and we just diffuse the argument and debate them and make the argument look stupid? Why are you banning people you don't agree with? You know, it's like, come on, man. It's like people need to be allowed there. Like, you only allow certain people. Like, what you got to hide? Like, what, you're threatened or afraid? Or what, Nick Fuentes is going to brainwash your audience and something you don't want them to think? But you want them to hide from the stuff that you don't want them to know about? Because you don't trust your audience to be able to decipher and dissent what they're saying and push back on it if it's dangerous. But you need to sit there and filter their stuff out for them. Like, that's what groupthink people do. People need to be trusted to think for themselves, and they can push back on this stuff, man. You don't need to sit there and censor and have only certain people there. For everyone now, the thing of it is, if you're going to have people harassing conservatives at a freaking, CPAC convention in Dallas, but then ban Nick Fuentes, I think you're a hypocrite. We need to be champions of free speech. We need to be champions of allowing other people to speak, even people we disagree with. And then you push back on them. You don't sit there and ban them. I don't care if the left is the narrative you want to push, whatever. It's like people should be allowed to challenge the left. And the left should also be allowed to challenge the right. Like, we should be allowed to challenge the left. Like, you want to be in your own little bubble where only you're convincing, only knows one idea? Yeah, they should support our ideas. And yes, the leftist ideas are crazy, but they still need to know about them. They still need to know about them. And Charlie Kirk, shame on you for shielding people. They should be able to handle it. And if they're brainwashed and if they fall for the leftist propaganda, then that's their choice. But you sit there, only want to show them one side. Well, this is my image. I only want to curate this what I want them to know. Like, no. You can't sit there and alter and control what they think. They should be allowed to have both sides of the argument. And shame on you, Charlie Kirk, for only wanting one side of the argument to be presented to them. It's not how real world is. There's going to be both sides to the argument, and they need to be allowed to present it. And then what the people at the Student Action Summit make up their own decision, what they want to believe in. But to sit there and say, well, we're not allowing these people here. Shame on you, Charlie Kirk. Is Turn Away Point USA is what your new name is? I guess it is. You should be ashamed of yourself, Charlie Kirk.